for the Chiefs in Week 2 to get his first head-to-head win against Patrick Mahomes. Since then, only one of the two have looked like the MVP we're used to seeing. Jackson ranks top 10 in the league in both passing and rushing yards and has the higher total QBR. And the Ravens currently sit at the top of the AFC North. Stephen A.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Action Jackson or Showtime Mahomes the rest of the way, sir?
Of course, it's Patrick Mahomes. Listen, Lamar Jackson is sensational, and I know that. He's a former league MVP. We all know what time it is. Lamar Jackson is box office. I hope he gets his bag. He deserves every penny. He should get at least $260 million. No, since Josh Allen got $258 million. But let's pump the brakes just a little bit, please. I mean, the reason why we even having this conversation is because for the first 6 or 7 games, Patrick Mahomes was very un-Patrick Mahomes-like in terms of not protecting the football. And he's thrown 2 interceptions in the last 3 games. He's got 10 interceptions on the year. Last year, he had a grand total of 6 interceptions the entire season. So when we saw him not taking care of the football, that's not something that we're accustomed to seeing from Patrick Mahomes. And as a result, he's fallen off a little bit. But I will remind everybody, we're talking about a Super Bowl champion. We're talking about the reigning 2-time AFC champion. We're talking about a dude that has shown up time and time again and put forth electrifying performances to the point where we looked at him and regardless of what we thought of Aaron Rodgers as a talent throwing the football, we actually had discussions and a lot of people believed that Patrick Mahomes was actually better than Aaron Rodgers, better than Tom Brady, because that's how well he threw the damn football. And so, again, even though I'm not satisfied with what we've seen from him through the first 8 games of the season or so, let's understand that that's an aberration. What's normal is the previous 32, 35 games this man has played, where we've seen some electrifying stuff that is unparalleled in the history of the National Football League. Lamar Jackson, on the other hand, had a playoff win against Tennessee last year, finally. That's what we were looking for from him because up until that point, he had not gotten it done in the postseason. So if I'm looking at the two and I'm saying moving forward, who do I want? I'm going to go with the dude that I know has already done it, okay? Or who's had, obviously some troubles recently, but I don't expect that to last. Of course I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes over Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I completely disagree. If it's about the rest of this season, I would take Lamar Jackson. Now, before I get into why, I want to make myself very clear. If I had the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, I would take Patrick Mahomes without hesitation. Moving forward, rest of career, Patrick Mahomes. This season, I got to go with the hot hand, Lamar Jackson. The Baltimore Ravens have 16 guys on IR. They have 9 starters that have gone to IR, and they are number 1 in their division. The football team is 3-1 this season when trailing by double digits at halftime. To put it in context, everybody else in the NFL is 8-93. Now, specifically to Lamar Jackson, his first 3 years, because, wins stats aren't necessarily a quarterback statistic, okay? Wins and losses. The first 3 years of his career, he had the number 1 defense in the NFL. They're the 21st defense in the NFL. This team has absolutely no business being in first place. They have played 8 games this year, Stephen A. 8. In 6 out of the 8, he's their leading thrower and their leading rusher. He is everything to this football team. He averages over 350 yards a game of total offense. This is the craziest number. 350 yards per game of total offense. That is more than 17 teams in the NFL. He's averaging more yards on offense than half of the league. He is the hot hand in the NFL right now. The rest of this season, I'm taking Lamar Jackson. And I love Patrick Mahomes. No one has loved Patrick Mahomes more than me. Lamar Jackson and what he is right now is on a different planet. He's on a different level than every player in the NFL. There's no reason for his team to be having success outside of Lamar. There's no reason for his offense to be having the success outside of Lamar. Every other time that I have known a quarterback to be placed into this type of situation with a bad defense and injuries upon their offense, they lose. and they struggle. And I always point to that being the reason why Lamar is doing things that are inexplicable when it comes to a team sport. If I had to take one of those two for the rest of this season, I'm taking Lamar Jackson.
Listen, I can't knock you for that. I just respectfully disagree because I've seen him in a situation where, again, first of all, against Minnesota, he ran for 120 yards. Again, we know how electrifying he is because we haven't seen a lot of running backs that can run the football the way Lamar Jackson can run the football, particularly in the open field. And to come from the quarterback position, to be a back-to-back, have a back-to-back 1,000-yard season as a rusher, on the verge of doing that yet again because he's already got 600 yards rushing on the season as a quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. We recognize how electrifying he is with those wheels, and all of that comes with it. I understand. But we've also seen him throw interceptions. We've seen him throw interceptions in overtime. We've seen him get saved on a few occasions because he's made some mistakes, and obviously the defense has come to help him, whereas Kansas City, clearly Patrick Mahomes can't say the same because for the most part this season, the Chiefs haven't been able to stop a cold. So we get all of that. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you as we move forward, as great as this season has been, there have been plenty of times where we've looked at the Baltimore Ravens and we've said, you know what? They're knocking on death's door. They keep playing around. They find themselves in very precarious situations, unnecessarily so because of mistakes and things of that nature. What I'm saying to you is that you do find yourself, particularly come playoff time, looking at certain situations that will definitely come back to bite them. With Patrick Mahomes, what you're looking at is a quarterback that's struggling right now, but for the most part has been absolutely positively electrifying. He's completed 65% of his passes. He's already thrown 20 touchdowns on the season, 10 interceptions. But that's what I'm saying. We're calling that a bad year for him. Mm-hmm. We're calling that a bad year for him because that's how special he is.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.